Hello again everybody, and welcome back to another edition of On the Range in the A-10C Warthog. And today I'm going to continue looking at the A-10 gun system and look at another gun sight that is presented to help us get rounds onto target. Now in previous videos I have looked in a lot of detail at the default gun reticule that comes up when you're in the gun sub mode with the gun selected. But this time I'm going to look at the CCIP Gun Cross that comes up when you're in the CCIP HUD mode. So I already have master arm to arm and my gun pack switched to arm, and I'm going to use my master mode control button to put my HUD into the CCIP mode. And this is the mode that I would use normally to employ bombs, but I can also employ the gun from this HUD sub mode because I have the CCIP Gun Cross displayed. So as I come back around towards the target area, you can see the gun cross out there stabilized on the ground. I have, unlike in the normal reticule, this is just a cross with a slant range to target and nautical miles displayed. So it gives me all the information that I need, but it's not as much information as you get with the normal gun reticule. And right now, for example, if I were to fire the gun, they would hit at that point, and my current slant range to that point on the ground is 1.0 nautical miles. So all the information that we need is there. And let me turn real quick onto a target and demonstrate employment with this. Now, all things considered, if I had the option, if I were only employing guns on a target, I would just use the normal gun reticule. But if I'm employing bombs and gun at the same time, then this can be useful and keep you from having to get distracted and switch. So we'll just say, for example, that I'm out here planning to bomb targets in this area, but I see something that I can quickly roll into and employ the gun on. I see some trucks down here to the left. So all I need to do is come around, stabilize, pack 1 mile slant range, good 2-second burst. It's a little right on that pass, but that's okay, and get out of the area. So employment with this gun reticule is the same as with the normal reticule. You just don't have as much information thrown at you when it comes to the slant range to the target. But as you can see, you can still effectively employ the gun using this gun cross. But like I said, it is there by default when you're in the CCIP, Computer Calculated Impact Point HUD sub mode, but it is not there if I go to CCRP, and I'll just cycle over to CCRP, and you can see that the gun reticule is not displayed. Same thing if I go to the nav sub mode, and of course if I'm in the gun sub mode I have the normal guns reticule. It's only there in CCIP. Now I can call this up manually if I go to the guns HUD sub mode. Now I can use this rocker switch, the selector switch on the UFC, to cycle through different types of gun sights, and one option is the CCIP Gun Cross reticule, and I have some other options that I'll cover in a later video as well. Or if I am in the guns sub mode, I can go DMS left and right to cycle through the different gun sight options as well. And before I wrap this video up, one other small distinction between this gun cross and the normal gun reticule is that if you look at the center of the cross, you only have one dot showing where the rounds will fall. And if I cycle back to the normal reticule, you'll see that I have 2 dots. The center dot, or I should say the top dot, being where the API rounds will fall, and the bottom dot where the HEI rounds will fall. But on the gun cross, you only have 1 dot. That dot is where the API rounds will fall. It doesn't display the HEI. But it only matters if you're at a long enough slant range for there to be a big difference between where the 2 types will fall, and you can eyeball it just by saying, okay, that's the API, and then at the at the top of this bottom of the cross, you could say, okay, I can just eyeball it from there and figure that's where the HEI rounds will fall, if it matters during whatever type of guns run that you're making. One other quick feature, distinction between this gun cross and other types, if I cycle back to, I'll show one other type of cross. This is the 4,000 foot wind corrected cross, and you can see that it does not have that little hat at the top, and this is not like a computer calculated impact point type of cross. And you can tell the difference between this non-computer aided cross and the CCIP Gun Cross because the CCIP Gun Cross has this little line at the top. That's how you can distinguish between the two. So let me roll in on one more target, and I will call this video quits. So coming back around to the target area. Okay, and I'll do just like a... I like doing offset pop-up attacks, offsetting myself off to the right, popping up, and then rolling left onto the target. That's just a comfortable way to do it. So I'll go down to low level, I'll pop up and employ the gun on this same target that I was employing it on earlier.
Altitude, altitude.
Okay, so coming into the area, generally speaking, I want to be firing on these targets at about 1 mile slant range. So I'm just going to try to eyeball it here. Okay, so let me pop up, turn into the target. Okay, let me stabilize and get the reticule on the ground. Okay, so missed that a little bit. I wanted to be a little bit closer on the pull out, so I'm tracking a little bit longer than I normally should. So pack 1, 2-second burst, pull, and off the target. So folks, in the interest of keeping this one short and sweet, I'm going to return and look at these other gun sights in a later video, but that is everything that you need to know about the CCIP Gun Cross. Well, not everything. There are some other things we'll get into as I look at some other techniques for employing the gun, but that's how it works. And if you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like and a comment. It sure does help, and I will see you next time.